I am Nikki, for those of you who don't know me. I apologize if the camera's not good quality. Anyway, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nikki, and I am a graduate of the Rock Your Massage Practice Academy, and I am coming at you live inside the Art of Building a Successful Massage Practice, which is a group run by my business coach, Rebecca Diaz-Aveda. Hi Jody. So if you're here, if you're watching live, I would love it if you would comment below, if you would say hi, let me know where you're from, and let me know your favorite movie. I am in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and my favorite movie is Fight Club. Speaking of Fight Club, here are my two cats. This one, this little black one that you can only see her bum is Marla. She's named after the female lead in Fight Club. And then this is my boy Dave Grohl. Anyway, they'll join me on most of these videos. If you have no idea who I am, if this is your first time seeing me, comment below and say tag me, and I'll tag you in my old video where I introduce myself, so I'll get to that later. Anyway, hello. So I posted, I think yesterday in the big group, I posted something that said that, oh, Avatar. You know, Jody, I've never seen it. I'm like the one person who never saw Avatar. Okay, I'm gonna try not to get distracted today. So I posted how in December I had 53 cancellations in my private practice, and I still earned $13,000 in 17 days. So I only work 4 days a week, so I worked 17 days in December, and I made $13,000 even though I had 53 cancellations, which to me was definitely a new record. I know I'm not alone. I know December was bananas for cancellations for a lot of people. You got the usual holiday stuff, and then depending on where you are in the world, you're probably living through a pandemic. I'm in a pandemic hotspot. December was absolutely bonkers. With 53 cancellations, that is an average of 3 per day. And that works out to 70% of my monthly income. So how did I have that many cancellations and still get paid? 2 main reasons. So the first one is I have a long waiting list. I have a year-round waiting list. I am perpetually fully booked weeks to months in advance, and I always have a waiting list all year round. Usually has around 50 people on it. In December, demand goes up, so I had around, I think, 60 people on my waiting list. So when somebody cancels, I send a message out to my waiting list, and the spot is usually filled within a few minutes. Like 9 times out of 10, the spot fills within 3 minutes. So that is one way to handle a high volume of cancellations, is to have a safety net of people waiting to get in with you. And so how do you get that busy? How do you get fully booked weeks in advance with a waiting list? You work with a coach. So that's how I did that. And then the other key piece to getting paid is having a cancellation policy. I have a cancellation policy. It is clearly written and communicated, which is key. And because of that, and because I only work with my ideal clients, my clients offer to pay me before I even have to remind them of my policy. I'm not even kidding. They call me up and they say, oh my gosh, I'm sick, I can't make it, please charge my card. Oh my gosh, I just drove into a ditch, please charge my card. There's been a family emergency, please charge me. I don't even have to tell them about it. They know, they agree to it, and they honor it. And these are the only kinds of people that I work with. And I'm just here to show you that it's possible. It's possible to find people who actually want to pay you. So that's how I got paid. I'm busy. I have a waiting list. I can fill those spots pretty easily. And if I can't, people pay me. I have a policy. I stick to it. I think this is where I lose a lot of you. I actually stick to my policy. And I use my policies to draw in the right people and weed out the wrong people. To me, my policies are like, it's like my business is like a castle, and I'm the queen of the castle, and there's a moat around the castle that protects my business. And if you want me to lower that drawbridge, you have to agree to a lot of things. You have to be in my niche, you have to agree to my policies, you have to be able to afford me, you have to want a massage on the days and times that I'm working. all kinds of criteria you need to meet in order for me to lower that drawbridge. And so that's how I feel, that my policies are protection of my time, the protection of my business, and I will only work with people who think that they're fair and agree to honor them. And that's not everybody. Not everybody thinks policies are fair, and not everybody wants to honor them, and that's fine. They can go work with somebody else. There's no room for resentment. I don't take it personally. I just say, that's fine. If you don't like my policies, you're welcome to go book a massage with somebody else. That's really, I wish it were more complicated than that. It's not. It's really that simple. These are my policies. You agree to honor them, or you go elsewhere. Those are your choices. And then they can choose. The details of my cancellation policy, they're not important. People ask me all the time, what do you charge? What's your policy? What are the hours? How many days do you work? How many none of that matters. You all get to run your own business the way that you want to run your own business. It doesn't matter what I do. I'm just here to be an example of what's possible. So I'm not going to tell you guys that you have to write your policy this way, and it has to be 48 hours, or it has to be 24 hours, or it has to be 100% or 50%, or there are no rules. You get to make up your own business, and that's one of the beautiful parts of running a business. But I definitely recommend having a policy and honoring it, because there's no point in having a policy if you don't honor it. I find that most massage therapists either don't have any kind of cancellation policy in place, or they have one and they don't honor it. And I prefer the term honor over enforce. Enforce sounds harsh, and it sounds like it's a penalty, like a punishment. I prefer honor. It's an agreement that the business owner and the clients agree to in order to work together. So, oh, my cat's, where are you going? Okay, excuse me for a minute. Yeah, have a policy. Create a policy if you don't have one already. Have one. Hi, Chantal. And honor it, and find the people who want to honor it. That's key. Find the people who actually agree to it and want to honor it. So, yeah, that's just a little mindset shift that I like to make. I don't like to use the word enforce. I prefer the word honor. Feel free to steal that. What else? This is something that's really important to me, that I learned from Rebecca Diaz-Avedo, the business coach who runs this group. A policy is not a punishment. This is where I lose people. Some clients and a lot of therapists think that a policy is a punishment, that it's a penalty, that I'm mad at you and I'm punishing you and I am taking your money. I don't see it like that at all. It's not a punishment. It's not a penalty. It's protection of our most valuable resource, which is our time. It's an agreement that both people honor when they enter into a professional relationship. And look, life happens. People get sick. People's kids get sick. Car accidents happen. Emergencies happen. Life happens all around us all the time. You are not responsible for other people's circumstances. This is something, I actually wrote this down and made a meme of it. This is something that Rebecca Diaz-Avedo said. You are not responsible for other people's circumstances. What happens to other people's lives is not your burden to bear. You shouldn't have to shoulder the financial burden of other people's situations. You can have empathy for people's situations, like, oh, it sucks that you're sick. I'm sorry to hear that. I have immense empathy for my clients when they have illness and emergency, and the kid's stuck home from school and the car won't start, and all kinds of reasons. I have so much empathy for them. I also have immense empathy for my bank account, and I will only work with people who offer to pay me. So I don't think it's mean. I don't think it's a punishment. I don't think it's a penalty. I don't think it's mean. I don't think you're being greedy. It's business. And if I don't make money in my business, if my business is not profitable, then I would have to close my doors and I wouldn't be able to help anybody. So you're not doing anybody any favors by going broke. Here's an analogy. I'm going to share this with you. Feel free to steal this. Feel free to use this. I usually find when people don't fully understand my policy, if I explain it this way, they get it. So here's a golden nugget. I like to think of my appointments. An appointment with me, a massage with me, is like a concert ticket. So in the before times, I worked in the music industry. I used to go to concerts every single week. It's been a while, but think of your appointment as a concert ticket. So what happens? Band that you love is coming to town. You go on Ticketmaster, you buy the ticket. That ticket is yours. That ticket is nobody else's. You reserve that seat. That seat in that venue is just for you and you alone. And then what happens? You wake up the day of the show and you're sick, or you break your leg, or you have to skip town, or your car won't start, or it's snowing, or any number of things can happen. What do you do? What do you do? If you have a ticket and you can't go to the show, what do you do? Well, you try to sell it, or you donate it to a friend, you give it away just so somebody can take your place, or you eat the cost. You absorb the cost. You knew when you purchased that ticket that that ticket is yours, that nobody else could get that seat because you got it, and that all sales are final. You don't call up Ticketmaster and threaten them with a 1-star Google review and tell them that they're being mean and greedy for not having sympathy for your situation. And you don't say to them, well, I got sick and that's not my fault, so I shouldn't have to pay for this concert ticket. That's ridiculous. Nobody makes that agreement. Everybody knows when I buy a concert ticket, I'm paying for that ticket, and I either fill the spot and sell the ticket, or I eat the cost. So this is what I tell people, that an appointment like with me is like a concert ticket. You book it in advance, and I don't even ask for 100%, prepayment up front. You have, several weeks or days to make up your mind of whether or not you're coming. And once you hit that 48-hour mark, you have officially purchased my time, and all sales on my time are final. And so if you can't make it for literally any reason, you either send a friend your place or you pay me, and that's it. I tell my clients that if you get abducted by aliens, I'm charging your card. And then I will use some of that money to send flowers to your loved ones, because that is a tragic situation. But believe me, I'm still getting paid. So feel free to use the concert ticket analogy if you want. It's just like, it's a plane ticket, a concert ticket, theater tickets, hotel reservation. You as a consumer, when you are purchasing that, when you are reserving that spot, you are agreeing to pay for it, and you are taking on the risk of saying, yep, I'm going to pay for that no matter what happens. Whether I show up or not, I'm going to pay for that plane ticket. I'm going to pay for that concert ticket. I'm going to pay for that hotel reservation, because it's not the hotel's fault that I couldn't make it. It's not the band's fault that I got sick. People still need to be paid for my time. And I take my time very seriously. It's important to me. It's a non-renewable resource, and there is nothing more valuable than my time. And so if you're going to work with me, you have to pay me for it, and that's it. And I only work with people who agree to it. So I know a lot of people think that my policy is harsh, and that's okay. I don't argue about my policies. It just means that we're not a professional fit, and that's all it is. There's no need for anger or bitterness or resentment or arguing. It's just, these are the rules, and if you don't like them, you're welcome to go elsewhere. That's really all it is. And because I have the best clients in the world, they support my policies. Here's something I want you to remember. Nobody forced these people to book a massage with you. So if you are clear and upfront and you clearly communicate your policies upon booking, I do think that's very important. It's part of informed consent. People need to know how much you charge and what your policy is if they cancel before they even book with you. If you communicate that clearly, they're adults. They made that decision. I have never in my life forced somebody to get a massage with me, right? They're all functioning adults who agree to my policies as a condition of working with me. So whatever happens after that is completely on them. I'm not going to babysit them, and I'm not going to babysit their feelings. They're grown-ups. They knew the rules. So I think we should give people a little more credit. Because honestly, with 53 cancellations last month, if I didn't get paid, if I didn't have the kinds of clients who offered to pay me when they cancel, even if they have a good reason, I would have to close my business and file for bankruptcy. And I know people who have. I know several massage therapists who have closed their businesses and filed for bankruptcy and gone into different fields because they've been having so many cancellations and they can't make ends meet. And they feel like, this is something I get a lot, they think it's unethical to charge people for XYZ reason. It's unethical to charge people if they have an emergency. It's unethical to charge people if they get sick. It's unethical to charge people during a pandemic. It's wrong, it's bad, it's greedy, it's mean, it's unethical. I've been called every name in the book, you guys. I disagree. And if that's how you feel, that's fine. I'm not going to fight with you. But good luck. I think you're going to struggle if this is how you feel. If you think that a policy is a punishment and you treat it like a punishment, like a penalty, and you think that you can't ask people to pay you for your time when they agreed to, you are going to suffer unnecessarily. And that breaks my heart. How many of you are struggling financially right now because of cancellations, especially in December? It was bananas, you guys. So like every day I was getting cancellations every day. I've had days where 100% of my clients cancel. I can't pay my bills with good reasons. How many of you are considering quitting? I know a lot of therapists that are quitting right now because they can't keep their doors open. How is that helping people? Like, you say that you don't want to charge people because you want to help them, but you're drowning and you're not making ends meet financially and you're not able to pay your bills, and then you can't help anybody. So I really don't think you're doing anybody any favors by not honoring yourself and your time and your business. Another factor is resentment. How many of you have those people who always cancel at the last minute and never pay you? And then how do you feel when you see their name on the schedule? You look at the schedule and you see their name and you think, oh, it's this one again. Oh, she's probably going to cancel. Oh, she always has an excuse. Oh, there's always one thing. Like, do you look at your calendar and do you feel resentful when you see certain people's names? I refuse to resent my clients. My clients either pay me or they go to somebody else. There is no room for resentment. I don't ever want to look at my calendar and see somebody's name and go, this one again. This one who always has the excuses. I don't want to feel like that towards my clients. So that's something that's really important to me, that my relationship with my clients is built on a foundation of mutual trust and respect. I value and honor their time. They value and honor my time. And there's no bitterness, resentment, friction. I don't have a single person on my calendar who owes me money. If anybody canceled without paying, that's it. They wouldn't be able to get another appointment. That's it. I don't know. I wouldn't hate them. I wouldn't yell at them or, be mean to them, but they can't come back. I want to look at my calendar and I want to be excited to see all of my clients. And that's absolutely something that you can have because it's something that I have. I just want to give you some quick stories. These are real life stories that happened to clients of mine. So when I was early on in my business, like 1 month into private practice, I hadn't hired Rebecca yet. I had not worked with Rebecca. I didn't even have policies in place. I just kind of opened my doors, was working from home, and had no idea what I was doing. And I have 2 clients, they're married, and they always come to me and they always book back to back. And they've been regulars of mine for a while. And one of them called me up the day of their massages. So they had 2 massages back to back, and one of them called me up and she said, there's been a death in the family. We're skipping town. We're not going to make it to our massages. Please charge us. And first of all, I didn't even have a policy in place. There was no policy that they signed because I didn't know what I was doing. I hadn't worked with a business coach yet. Secondly, there had been a death in the family that day. I couldn't even believe that she thought to call me to cancel. Like, she could have just left town and driven, and I would have understood that this is a family emergency and that, it slipped her mind to call me. So I was just floored that she even thought to call me to even cancel. I thought that was just so beautiful and respectful. And most importantly, just the level of respect when she said, death in the family, skipping town, please charge us. Like, I could have cried. I thought that was so beautiful that she even offered. That's the kind of person I want to work with. These are the kinds of clients I want to work with. And look, do I charge everybody all day long, all the time for absolutely every little thing? Not always. I make exceptions. I have a heart, you know? But the point is, I only work with people who offer. That's the point. You gotta offer me. Like, that's what I want more than anything. I need you to demonstrate that you value my time and that you respect my time and that you recognize that this is a business and that I can't help anybody if I can't pay my bills. So I just thought that that was so beautiful. And, you know, she's been one of my favorite clients for years because of that, because she offered. I thought that was incredible. I had another client. He canceled a week early, a whole week early. At the time, my policy was 24 hours. He canceled a week early. And then he said, if you can't fill that spot, please charge me. And I said, well, I'm not going to do that because my policy is 24 hours and you gave me a week's notice. So even if I can't fill it, it's outside of my policy, so don't sweat it. And he was adamant. Like, no, if you can't fill the spot, please charge me. I didn't. I filled it, but whatever. He offered. I had a client once who I was in session. So I was in a massage when this happened. So I didn't even know this was happening. Client canceled the appointment. Then e-transferred me the full price of the treatment. Then called me and left me a voicemail saying, hey, just wanted to make sure you got the e-transfer. All of this happened before I even knew that he canceled. Like, again, how beautiful and respectful is that? It was like a no-brainer. It was like, obviously I'm going to pay you for your time. People like that are out there and they're not unicorns. And I work with tons of them and I want that for you. I had another client who, she got sick recently too, during the pandemic. You know, it's scary. She got sick. She slept in. She forgot about her appointment. So I called her when she was 5 minutes late and she was like, oh my gosh, I have an appointment now, don't I? I said, yeah. And the first thing she said was, I would like to pay you. I didn't remind her of my cancellation policy. I didn't have to say a thing. And she didn't even say like, ugh, I guess you're going to charge me now, aren't you? Or like, fine, go ahead, I guess. Like, she wasn't upset. She wasn't angry. She wasn't trying to get out of it. She said, and I quote, I would like to pay you. This is a desire that she had, to pay me. And honestly, I teared up. Like, and the next time I saw her, I told her, I said, that was so beautiful that you offered to pay me and that you value my time and you respect my time and you are a wonderful, magical creature and the world would be a better place with more people like you. And when I told her, I'm getting all teary-eyed. When I told her that I was expanding my policy from 24 hours to 48 hours, do you know what she said? You should make it 72. And I burst into tears and we hugged. It was like, guys, it was like a scene out of a romance film. It was so beautiful. I don't have romantic relationships with my clients, by the way. But I just thought it was so beautiful that she got sick and she said, I would like to pay you. And she's just so supportive of me and I love her to death. And yeah, these are the kinds of people that I work with. And these are the kinds of people that I want you to work with. Wouldn't you love that? Somebody to call you up and say, look, I had an emergency, not going to make it. I'd love to pay you. Even if you don't choose to charge them, that's on you. I'm not saying you have to charge everybody all the time. I'm not telling you how to run your business. I'm just showing you what's possible. But wouldn't you love that? Don't you crave that? Somebody who says, please charge me. That's all I want. And they're not hard to find. They're out there. I do the same thing as a consumer of services and healthcare, as somebody who I get my own massages and I get my hair cut and I get, all the things. I honor other people's time and I pay them when I can't make it because I know it's not their fault that I can't make it and that they're not responsible for my circumstances. And I really, truly hope that you all do the same. My web designer, we had a meeting one day and I had blocked off 2 hours for us to get together and work on my website. And I went to see her and we got about halfway through to the hour-long mark. And it looks like we were about to wrap up. And she said, okay, well, looks like we're about to finish. So I'll only charge you for the hour. And I said, no, I booked 2 hours of your time. What I choose to do at that time is up to me. I could have not shown up at all. you could have booked somebody else in that second hour if I didn't reserve it. So no, I'm paying you for the 2 hours. It doesn't matter how much of that time I use. I'm paying you for 2 hours. Just like if somebody books a 90-minute massage with me and they come in and they say, hey, I've got this thing, I got to get out early. Can we only do an hour? I say, sure, absolutely, but you're still paying me for 90. It's the same thing. So no, I paid her in full for the 2 hours because, my God, of course. Another example, I have a maid service. So I live in a house and it's separated into 3 different units. And every 4 weeks we get a maid that comes over and does the top 2 units. And she was scheduled to come yesterday. And a couple days ago, my housemate, so the person who lives upstairs in the upper unit, got really, 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 really sick. And we're in a pandemic. So I called my maid and I said, hey, my housemate is sick. When you come over on Saturday, don't clean the top 2 floors. Just don't even go up there. You don't want to have anything to do with that. Just do the main floor. And we have separate ventilation systems, so like I'm not putting anybody at risk, you guys. I said, just do the main floor. We're happy to pay you in full for your time. So yeah, so she came over, she cleaned a third of the house, and I paid her to clean the whole house because I value her time. It's not her fault that my housemate got sick. And if we canceled on her and said, just do a third of the house and I'm only going to pay you for a third of the house, she'd be out that money and it's not her fault. And she wouldn't have enough time to fill that extra space with, you know, another home that she had to clean. So to me, it was just such a no-brainer. And I told my housemate, I said, the maid is coming and we're paying her in full. And he said, yeah, of course. Like, of course. There was no pushback, no hesitation. Just, of course, we're paying her in full. This is her job. And I'll do that all the live long day. If I ever make an appointment, if I ever get a massage from any one of you and I cancel on short notice for literally any reason, I'm going to pay you for your time because I agreed to, and I am nothing without my integrity, and because it's the right thing to do. So whenever people say, well, it's unethical to charge people, I'm of the opinion that as a consumer, it's unethical to agree to pay somebody and then to renege, to change your mind and to argue against it. I think that's unethical. That's my strongly held opinion. So that's the kind of client that I am. That's the kind of client that I want to work with. And I'm here to tell you, we're not unicorns. We're not that special. People like this are everywhere. When I made the recent announcement that I was increasing my cancellation policy from 24 hours to 48 hours, I got near unanimous support. Yeah, not everybody agrees. That's fine. It just means they can't work with me. But most people, I got praise. I got emails and messages from people supporting me. I made a Facebook post that went viral, has like 13,000 views on it. I got so much support, and I really think it's just a beautiful thing. So yeah, I just want to tell you, respectful clients are everywhere. I personally know hundreds of them. A lot of you are worrying, you know, what if people get angry? What if you ask them to pay and they get angry? Your clients are adults. They agree to the policy beforehand, assuming that you have a clearly written and clearly communicated policy that they read and sign. They have to know about it. You can't just make it up on the spot. They have to know that you have a policy. Then how they react is up to them. They can throw tantrums and hissy fits if you want. You can't be scared of your client's feelings. I'm not scared of my client's feelings. Yeah, I want people to like me. Of course, I want people to like me. We all want people to like us. But I'm not going to burn my business to the ground because somebody else is saying they're going to get upset. I can't live my life if I'm going to be scared of other people's feelings. I am of the opinion that we are all responsible for our own emotions. So how they react, that's on them. My policy is a boundary, and you know it when you book in with me. And not everybody has to like you all the time. It's okay. People aren't going to like your policies. People aren't going to want to come back if they have to be held accountable for the agreement that they made. That's okay. I don't have to be everybody's favorite person. You cannot build a profitable business based on fear. And you can't build a profitable business and have absolutely everybody like you all the time. It's not possible. So that's just part of the reality. Not everybody's going to like my policy. That's fine. It just means you can't work with me. No hard feelings. What if they argue against it? What if they say, well, I shouldn't have to pay you because I got sick, or because I had a good excuse, or because it's my first time, or because I have a hangnail, or whatever? Personally, I would let them go. I will never work with somebody who argues for reasons why they shouldn't have to pay me. To me, I think that's really gross. I think that's really disrespectful for somebody to look me in the eye and say, here are all the reasons why I shouldn't pay you for your time. I will gladly let those people go. You guys can deal with them. I don't want anything to do with people like that. So that's where I stand on that. Something that's really important to me, and I'm going to try to make these videos shorter next time, guys. I'm sorry. Most massage therapists and most service providers in general are women. I think 80% of us are women, or members of other marginalized populations. So if you look at all the massage therapists, you know, they're probably mostly women. There are lots of people of color. That's me. I'm a woman of color. People with disabilities, queer people. I have two friends who are both massage therapists, and they're both queer, and they're both blind. So they have all kinds of cards stacked against them. And when you are socialized as a woman, or when you are raised as a person in a marginalized community, which most of us are, we're taught to put everyone else's needs before our own. We're taught to bend over backwards for other people's benefit. We're taught to be helpful and compassionate and likable above all else. And if you're a woman, you're also taught that you have to be skinny and pretty and quiet. You can probably guess how I feel about that. Women everywhere are suffering because they don't know how to stand up for themselves, because their whole lives they've been taught that they're not allowed to. Don't ruffle any feathers. Just be grateful for what you have. And no matter what the cost to you, make sure everybody else likes you. It's destroying our livelihoods. And I'm here to give you permission to ask for more. If you needed permission, you've got it from me. And so lastly, if there's one takeaway that you get from this, whether or not you decide to have a cancellation policy, or whether you decide to honor your policy, or whether you decide to make exceptions, or if it's 24 hours or 48 hours or 50% or 100%, or the details don't matter. You run your business the way that you run your business. I just hope that you like your reasons. But more importantly than that, something that's really important to me, however you choose to operate your business, I am begging you, when you book a service with a healthcare provider or a service provider and you can't make it on short notice, please pay them. Please pay them, especially if you agreed to a policy that said that you would, because they're probably going to be too scared to ask you, and you could be the reason they make rent that month. So thanks for listening. This is how I feel about cancellation policies. If you want to learn more about how to get fully booked, how to get a waiting list, how to write a policy, how to communicate your policy, how to attract your ideal clients who value what you do, and how to actually get paid in a pandemic, we can help you with that. That's what we do all day, every day in the Rock Your Massage Practice Academy, which is run by Rebecca Diaz-Avedo. Visit rockyourmassagepractice.com. Sign up for the free webinar if you haven't done that yet. And if you're ready to hit the ground running, and if you're ready to make this year your year, and you're ready to just really build the business of your dreams, book a free discovery call with a member of Rebecca's team. You won't regret it. Thanks for listening.